Today we are going to look at rewriting expressions with rational numbers. What I would like for you to do is to listen to me talk about this skill and to also write down everything that I highlight. So first of all, if you could title your page, Rewriting Expressions with Rational Numbers. While you're writing that, listen to the following example. You already know of one relationship between exponents and radicals. The appropriate radical will undo an exponent, and the right power will undo a root. For example, if we have the cube root of 2, if you have 2 to the third power, what we would need to do is take the cube root of 2 to the third power to get the answer of 2. And the same thing with 3 to the fourth power. To undo 3 to the fourth power, we would take the fourth root of that number to get 3. But there is another relationship, which, by the way, can make computations like these that we've just done much simpler. For the square or second root, we can write it as 1/2 power, like this. The square root of 2 equals 2 to the 1/2 power, or the square root of 4 equals 4 to the 1/2 power, which then equals 2. The cube or third root is 1/3 power. If you take the cube root of 8, it equals 8 to the 1/3 power, which equals 2. The fourth root is the 1/4 power. If we take the fourth root of 81, it equals 81 to the 1/4 power, which equals 3. The fifth root is the 1/5 power, and so on. So if we look at the first example, like we've done above, we can rewrite the items like this. 2 to the third power, we would take the cube root of that number. Once we take the cube root, it now equals 2 to the third power raised to the 1/3 power. Then if we write that out, we know that 2 to the third power over 1 raised to a power of 1/3 equals 2 to the third power times 1/3 power. That equals 2 to the first power, which then equals 2. And the same for this next example. 3 to the fourth power, if we want to undo this, we would take the fourth root of that number. The fourth root of that number equals 3 to the fourth power raised to 1/4 power. We write that out as 3 to the fourth power raised to the 1/4 power, which equals 3 to the fourth power times 1/4 of a power, which equals 3 to the first power. 3 to the first power equals 3. Therefore, to rewrite expressions involving radicals and rational exponents, you use the properties of exponents. This number is known as the index. We have our radical sign. We know that the little number is the exponent. The big number under the radical sign, the radicand, is known as the base. Of course, that means b raised to m over n means b raised to the m power of m to the square root of n. So if we look at 216 raised to a power of 2/3, it equals 216 squared with a cube root. You read this as the cube root of 216 squared. Second example. If we look at 125 raised to the power of 1/3 equals the cubed root of 125. Finally, we're going to end with this. The definition of b raised to 1 over n. A number raised to the power of 1 over n is equal to the nth root of that number. The numbers to explain this definition here. 3 raised to the 1/2 power is the square root of 3. 5 raised to the power of 1/4 equals the 4th power of 5. 2 raised to the power of 1 over 7 is equal to the 7th root of 2. The algebra notation is if b is greater than 1 and n is an integer where n is greater than or equal to 2, then b raised to the power of 1n equals the nth power of b. The nth root of b. This entire box needs to be written down.